The MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gam Podcast Network is brought to you by Fantasy. Get up to 1K and deposit manager sign Rock Fantasy with the promo code MLB SGPN. And welcome everybody to the MLB Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gam Podcast Network. It is currently Tuesday afternoon, July 22nd, around 5 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm Rose Scott back from vacation, joined by Dylan Rockford. Together, we're going to break down the games for the Wednesday card. Dylan, how's it going with you? How have you enjoyed your, past few days without me?
Oh, it hasn't been the same, Scott. I
appreciate that.
Yeah,
Thank
it hasn't been the same. Been good, though. Mal's been holding the fort down with Lante and myself. Been good. How was Florida? Where'd you go?
I ended up going to Miami. Ended up seeing some family, which was nice. Unfortunately, though, the sunburn was definitely a thing for me over there, which was not ideal, but it happens. It was very good weather, though. There was no rain at all, so
I heard it's expensive in Miami.
Well, I'd say yes in general, but I try to get down there once a year minimum to visit some family. So
nice.
There you go. But it was nice. I ended up seeing my aunt who was visiting from Cyprus, actually. So she was visiting from a foreign country, and that was nice to see her. Hadn't seen her in probably a couple years. So, yeah, can't complain. Was just nice to see the family again.
You have a big family?
So that was on my mom's side, which is, I'd say, not the biggest, but, I have a couple aunts, couple uncles, and we all met up.
Do you have do they have kids? Like, do you have a lot of cousins?
On my mom's side, I don't really know a lot of my cousins, but I do know that my aunt does have a daughter, and one of my uncles does not have any kids. The other one does, but his kids were sick. So we couldn't actually see them when we were traveling because we didn't want to get sick too. So It happens, but I'd say not that many cousins to actually think about. I only have a handful. So
okay, yeah, I have a very small family, but my girlfriend, her mom is like one of 7. They have like 40 cousins. It's crazy, some of these families, but that's good. Is Miami worth the hype? Because I know a lot of people love going to Miami.
Yeah, I love Miami. I think
I've never been. I only been to Key West.
It depends what you're going for, because I feel like Miami, you could argue, is a very big party city. Then again, which area in Florida is not a party city?
Yeah.
But it's a good time in general on Miami Beach. Can't complain. Then again, I was going for family. I wasn't going for party purposes, but it's a good time.
Are you an ocean guy? Like, do you like to go in the ocean?
I'm more of a pool guy, personally, but I don't mind the ocean. The issue is the seaweed. Tons of seaweed.
Really?
Around this time, which was not really ideal, but it was fine. More of a pool guy. So
yeah. I'm more of an ocean guy. I love it. I just don't fuck with the sharks, but thankfully there aren't any.
I don't mind the ocean. I just mind the sand.
Yeah. Oh, you're not a sand guy?
No, I can't stand the sand.
Oh, I hear that.
It's fine if you're like, hanging out there, but when you leave, it's just miserable because then it takes years to actually get all the sand off of you.
I can't stand the chlorine. That's why I hate fucking pools. But hey, tomato. It's all good, though. But glad you had a good time. Are you back? Any more vacation before football?
Yeah, probably heading to Vegas in a couple weeks to meet up with Adam, Sean, and Kramer for a Bet Bash, which is
what is that?
It's a betting convention in Vegas during August. So I'll probably be going there for a couple of days. So
nice. Before week 1 or?
Yeah, it's middle of August. So it'd be like I think 13th through the 16th I'd be there or something like that. But I do plan on going to Vegas.
Before week 0. So that should be good. You like doing cash tickets out there?
I feel like, once again, if I'm going to be betting on something at a game, sure. Or if I'm going to be betting on something that's going to happen immediately, it's the future tickets that are frustrating because you have to hold on to those paper tickets for months.
Yeah.
When you can just get the app. And it'll just keep it on the app instead. So for paper tickets, I like them when I'm betting on the game that day. But when it comes down to futures and stuff that will not be resolved immediately, just put it on the app.
Yeah. No, I agree. So not a big ticket guy either.
I never lost a ticket, so it wasn't one of those where I had a horror story where I won something and I couldn't find it. But the idea that that's another way of potentially getting a bad beat, I'm not really interested in that prospect,
No, but I hear you.
That's how I feel. But anyway, yeah, if you're going to be in Vegas for Bet Bash, you might see me there. So just keep an eye out. Anyway, a point is, though, before we get into any of the games for the Wednesday card, a reminder that you can also check out the SGP platform because they're back, Sports Gambling Podcast, with their 32 NFL team previews. They're also bringing back the phrase that pays. Each episode will have one word of a 32-word phrase. Submit the phrase for a chance to win a $1,000 circa future. So once again, it's free to enter, but you do have to do some effort because you do have to check out the actual word in each of the episodes. But once again, a nice reward, a $1,000 circa future, absolutely free. Anyway, starting off with the actual card here for Wednesday. First game we're going to talk about, the Reds taking on the Nationals. The Nationals won a fun game yesterday because Godsinger was terrible. But either way, the Nationals held on to win the game in the end. This one, you have Soroka against Lodolo. Reds are minus 140. The Nationals are plus 120. For the over-under in this game, I do see it being set at around 8.5 or 9. So far this season, Lodolo's been fine. 7-6, 3.33 ERA. As for Soroka, he's been underwhelming, 3-7, 5.1 ERA. Basic numbers home and road, so it's not really like there's an outlier between the two of them. On top of that, he has been better lately, though. He has allowed 3 earned in his last 2 starts, so not amazing, but he has been slightly better. However, the Nationals have lost 7 straight starts that he's made, and they've lost each of the last 6 starts that he's made by at least 4 runs. So they've been getting killed every time he pitches. I'll ask you for this one. I'll go Reds, but what do you like in this game?
Yeah, I like the Reds as well. I'm in a minus 140 favorite. Nick Lodolo has been better on the road than at home this season. 2.56 ERA. Batter's only hitting 200 off of him as well, so that's good. He gives Cincinnati good length as well. Walks are down, so I think he's obviously the better pitcher of the two. Mike Soroka, not good. Home or on the road, you mentioned it. 0-7 straight up. The Nationals are in their last 7. The month of July wasn't good for him, but for whatever reason, they just don't put enough runs to keep Soroka in the game. So I have a hard time seeing the Nationals being competitive in this one. The bullpen is still the worst in the league as well. So yeah, I just think this is a really bad spot. So yeah, I do like the Reds here on the money line.
Yeah. Moving on. By the way, for the total, I'm kind of on the fence here. I guess I'm on the over, because I think Soroka might get shelled, but to be honest, I don't really have a thought in the total.
Yeah, I would agree. I like the over, if anything.
Yep. Moving on to the next game, Padres taking on the Marlins. Had a low-scoring game in the series opener. For this one, you have Cease against Alcantara, 2 pitchers who people thought would be a lot better so far this season. For the actual money line, San Diego's minus 140. You have the Marlins at around plus 124. For the over-under in this game, I see 8 as the total. Juice to the over, though. So San Diego has been pretty underwhelming since their fantastic start to the season. Miami's 7 under. Stowers started homering every game again, but they don't exactly still win much, so I don't know if it's worth much, but still. Point is, the Padres are below 500 on the road. The Marlins are below 500 at home. Cease 3-9, 4.64 ERA. Alcantara 4-9, 7.14 ERA. Cease was very good last start, though. 5 1/3, no runs against the Nationals, so maybe he found something. I'll believe it when I see it. We've seen a couple good acts here or there, but nothing consistent. So for that reason, I'm going to kind of avoid getting too much, I'd say, optimism with the start for, once again, Cease. As for Alcantara, it's been an absolute just disaster all season. He had a decent run about a couple months ago with like 2 good outings in a row. That's basically it. He has given up at least 4 earned in 4 straight. And it has once again been disgusting. Last 4 starts, 23 innings pitched, and he has allowed a total of 22 earned runs. It's been a mess. I got nothing else to add. I guess I'm on San Diego, but I don't like either pitcher in this game. But I can't take Alcantara. I can't do it. He's regressed back to being terrible. I can't. I got to go San Diego or pass.
Yeah, 2 pitchers I want no part of either. So I do like the total, though. My total came out to 8.7. Dylan Cease, 0-6 straight up on the road. Batterson, 265 off of him. Padres are 1-4 in those last 5 road starts as well. He's given up 3+ runs in 6 of his last 7 road starts as well. You mentioned it with Sandy Alcantara. He's just not been good. He's regressed back to his normal self. He has been a little better at home, but he still holds a 5.37 ERA. He's also a guy that gives up a ton of hits. The hard contact rate is up as well. 4+ runs given up in 4 straight games. This Marlins team also at home is a sneaky good offensive team. So I don't know who's going to win. If I had to bet, my numbers did make the Padres a -115 favorite, but I don't have any faith in either team. I think we'll see plenty of runs, though. So I like the over 8.
Yeah, I can get behind that, too. I don't trust either pitcher to do it.
Scott, we have a question in the chat. You like the Cubs and Astros moneyline parlay for tonight?
Let me just quickly remind myself who's pitching for both teams tonight. So just give me a second here.
Yeah, for what it's worth, I'm on the Astros here tonight. That's the only game I like. You can't back Erod. He's terrible.
You can't back Erod. Valdez is great. 120 feels like a gift. So I can get behind you on that one. For the Cubs with Boyd, we got Dick Mound on the mound for the start here for the Royals, who's 95 years old. I'll tell you what, though, the Royals have actually been hitting better lately.
Yeah, they have.
So I considered maybe an over for that game, but it's really tough to back Dick Mountain. I think I'd probably consider going with the Cubs, but I'm not going to lay 235.
No.
I can't do.
So
I'm fine with the Astros, Daniel, but I can't lay that with the Cubs based on how Kansas City's been performing lately. I know the offense isn't good, but even bad offenses have stretches, and right now they're in good form. It's a massive number on Chicago.
Yeah.
I can't recommend that.
And they haven't been that good in the second half so far.
No, they've been fine. But I do think that for that price range, it's just not worth anything for me. So
I agree.
Kansas City or pass for the game on Tuesday. Anyway, moving on to the next game we're to talk about. You have the matchup between... you have the Giants against the Braves. Speaking of older pitchers who might not be any good, you have Verlander pitching for the Giants, and you have Strider going for the Braves. For this one, you have the Braves laying 170. For the Giants, you have plus 145, and for the over-under, I see 8.5. Now, Strider was good against the Yankees in his last outing. So far this season, 4-7, 3.59 ERA. ERA, though, below 3 at home. He's been consistent. He has allowed less than 4 earned in 5 straight. So, once again, he's not been the same elite shutdown Strider, but he's been fine. As for Verlander, 0-8, 4.99 ERA. He stinks. He's an auto-fade territory for me. Braves in whichever way you want. Give me the Braves minus 1.5.
Yeah, Braves being the favorite obviously makes sense. They are better at home, and I don't know what's wrong with the Giants right now, but they can't buy a win. I can't back them here, especially with Verlander on the mound. 0-8 straight up on the air. He's even worse on the road. 5.67 ERA. Batters hitting over 300 against him. Thank God he's not on the Mets anymore. And not to make things worse.
I forgot he was even on the Mets. That's how bad his time was with the Mets.
That's how bad it was.
There.
Yeah. And not to make things worse, but the Giants have failed to score a single run in Verlander's last 2 starts, so they can't even score for him either. The last win for the Giants when Verlander started was back in May 18th at home versus the A's, and they barely won that game. So I'm not a believer in the Braves in this offense, but they are better than the Giants right now, and Strider is clearly the better pitcher. So, yeah, I agree. It's either Braves or pass.
Yeah, I can't back Verlander. It's just auto-fade all over again. It's not a Wainwright bad, but it's pretty close. It's been rough.
It's getting there.
For Verlander. Yeah, it feels that way. Moving on to the next game, though, Tigers taking on the Pirates. For this one, you have Melton, who is making his debut, and you have Falter pitching. So Melton, for the record, is 24, and he's never pitched in the majors before. So I'll see how he does in this one. For Falter, he's been fine. 6-5, 4 ERA. Been better at home. Has not been great last 3 starts. He has allowed a total of 11 runs. So not exactly pitching that well. Giving up 7 home runs in his last 3 starts combined. On the bright side, the Tigers can't score. So offenses that right now are not getting the job done. For the money line, I actually see Olsen listed in one spot, but I actually don't know if Olsen's injured because that might be something I want to check. So let me just check that real quickly. But either way, for the actual pricing, you do have the Tigers being favored in this game at around minus 135. For the Pirates, I see plus 120. And for the over-under, I see 8.5. So for this game, I think I have to go with the under. By the way, I see Olsen pitched on July 18th, I believe. So I don't see why he'd be pitching in this game. So, yeah I think it's going to be Melton. I think ESPN's right for a change, but I like the under in the game. Tigers can hit. They didn't score against Skeens yesterday. It's not a surprise, but still. I believe to go through their last couple of games, they've scored a grand total of 3 runs in their last 4 games combined. They have lost, 7 of 8. They've been terrible lately. I don't think Falter's that good, but I'll take the under. Pirates can't hit, worst offense in the league, and the Tigers right now can't hit. So I don't know how they get there, but give me the under.
Yeah, Milton is listed on MLB.com as well, just to double check. But yeah, I don't really know what's going on with the Tigers right now. Another team that just can't buy a win ever since the second half started.
I can't score.
Yeah, it seems like the offense has just gone MIA. And honestly, Bailey Falter, he's not my favorite pitcher, but he's been serviceable at home for the Pirates. 5-2 straight up, 3.65 ERA. Batters only hit 228 off of him as well. So, I think with the struggles that the Tigers are facing right now offensively, I think the Pirates might be live here first 5+ a half. Say what you want, but the Pirates offense has been better than the Tigers since coming back from All-Star break. So I'm going to fade Millen in his first start in the majors. In that Tigers offense, they just can't buy a run right now. So yeah, I'm going to take the Pirates first 5+ a half.
Yeah, I do want to point out, by the way, Pittsburgh, despite being 21 games under, is actually 3 over at home. So PNC Park's actually been effective as a home field advantage for this team. Before we get into the next game on the card, a reminder, they're brought to you by our sponsor, Circa, still hosting the Circa Million Circuit Survivor Contest. The world's greatest sportsbook, Circa Las Vegas, hosting the world's biggest pro football contest. Circa Million Circuit Survivor and Circa Grandissimo with over $21 million of guaranteed prizes. You can call yourself a true degen if you're not competing in the Circa football contest. Come hang out with SGPN at the Circa contest weekend, August 21st to the 23rd, for an amazing weekend, including live shows and open bars. Plus, you get 15% off a stay at Circa with promo code SGP15. Contest is open to everyone. Sign up in Nevada. Play from anywhere with double SGPN official proxy. Go to footballcontest.com. Use the code SGP. $50 off your proxy fees. We're also brought to you by Fantasy because they're doing Best Ball Mania happening all summer long, giving away $15 million in prizes, including $2 million for first place. No waiver wire. The arguments about trades. Best ball is the best way to play fantasy football. And a reminder, Underdog is also a great place to play fantasy football and pick 'em if you want to try to win 500 times your entry. And a reminder, when you sign up for your new account, use the code MLBSGPN to get a special pick on your first time that offer up to $1K in bonus cash on fantasy promo code MLBSGPN. Welcome back, everyone, to the MLB Gambling Podcast. Finished going through the first couple games on the card for Wednesday. Time to keep going with the next game. Moving on to the Angels taking on the Mets. Nice comeback win yesterday as Sango was awful, but it didn't matter because the Mets rallied against the Angels bullpen. But nice job in general by the Mets to rally all the way back. For this game, though, you have the Mets being favored at home. You have Manaea pitching against, we don't know. So we don't have a line in it, but I can guarantee the Mets will be favored in this game. So Manaea is going. He's barely pitched this season. 0-1, 2.45 ERA. He's made outings going less than 4 1/3 in both of them. He's been fine, but once again, he's not going any length. As for the Angels, though, we don't know his pitching. It's probably not anybody good. And on top of that, the Angels, I still don't think are a good baseball team. I get they're only 2 under. They're a very streaky team, and I think the Mets are much better. I know the Mets have not played well. Lindor's been god-awful. I think he's 0 for his last 28.
He can't hit to save his life.
I gave out his prop under. I gave out his bases under on the prop show yesterday. That
at least you're hitting.
Yeah, it felt good. Never in doubt, too. But yeah. I heard that he showed up early to the stadium today by about 4.5 hours to try to do some batting practice. But, yeah, he can't hit. He's 0 for his last 28, and the Mets are kind of falling apart. But you know what? You got to start somewhere, and it was a good win in the Monday game. I'll ask you with no lines, what do you like? Because the Angels offensively can be decent. I don't trust the pitching staff. And the Mets offense can be very underwhelming, at least based on recent form. So, yeah, what do you like?
Yeah, like you said, great comeback win last night. Shout out Brett Beatty finally hitting a home run, too. That was a nice one. But, Angels did not listed a pitcher, maybe a bullpen type game. And if it is, I just don't see them winning that game. Sean Manaea, he was making his 3rd start of the year. Hopefully they can push him longer. You mentioned the innings. Hopefully he could go more than 4 innings this time around. But he hasn't been bad in my opinion. Just 1 run given up in both starts. Strikeouts are high, walks are down. So he hasn't been bad. He just needs to go a little longer in these games. So I think this could be a good spot for him. Maybe get his first win as well. Angels do struggle against left-handed pitchers as well. And like I said, if it is a bullpen game for them, I made the Mets over a $2 favorite. So at home, they still have a really good record, the New York Mets. So, yeah, and Halo's bullpen, third worst bullpen in the league as well. So I imagine the Mets being big favorites here. So depending on the price, maybe Mets run line again. If you get plus money, I think you got to take the run line.
Yeah, I'm kind of just want to get on the fence because I don't know what the line's going to be. The Mets should be around like minus 190 if I had to price it myself. Manaea's been fine, and the Angels' pitching staff's a mess. So I think I like the Mets too, but I might go maybe for... Do I think Manaea pitches well in this game? I think he might. You mentioned the Angels are not very good against lefties. I don't mind the Mets' first 5 run line, potentially, depending what the number is.
Yeah.
Maybe if you want to go bold for a minus 1.5 in the first 5. I think they jumped this team early. I think it was a nice emotional win for the Mets, who have been struggling, and they could definitely have used that win, and they came back in thrilling fashion. I'll go Mets first 5 in this game. I don't want to take the minus 1.5. I don't know the number, but I think Manaea can maybe go 5 in this outing. Good enough for me. I'll go with the Mets in the first 5 in some capacity for this game. Moving on to the next game on the card. I see the Royals taking on the Cubs. So for this game, you have Lugo against Rhea. For the actual pricing, I see the Cubs at minus 142. Royals are plus 120. For the over-under in this game, I see 10.5. So with it being 10.5, I have to check the actual weather report because if the wind's blowing out, that might decide my entire cap here for this game. So I'll ask you, because Rhea was good against the Red Sox in first start, out of the break. Lugo, I feel like, is a pitcher who... Every time I try to back, it just doesn't work out for me. But I understand that he can pitch pretty well at times too. Former Met, if people forgot.
Yeah.
But for the game itself, wind's blowing out at around 10 miles per hour to about left center. I'll go over in the game. Royals have been good offensively. I think Lugo might struggle in this environment with the wind. It's a Wrigley game, a day game with wind. Give me the over.
Yeah, you mentioned streaky teams or the Angels being streaky. Colin Ray is another guy that's kind of streaky. I can't get him right. But you mentioned it earlier as well. Royals, another team where not the highest on, but I gotta say, give them credit where it's due. The offense has looked pretty good so far in the second half, and now throwing one of their better pitchers in Seth Lugo, who he's been great for them this season. Batters only hitting 220 off of him. He's only given up more than 2 runs on the road one time in the last 6 starts. So Cubs aren't tearing up the ball either. So I think the Royals are live here. First 5 plus a half. I only made the Cubs a minus 130 favorite, so I don't want to back them. Colin Ray at home at minus 142. I think that's a little rich. So maybe it's a wait and see. Maybe money comes in on the Cubs and we get a better price with the Royals. But Royals first 5, I think they're live.
Yeah, maybe you can go with the Royals team total over if you want to avoid Lugo and just back the offense in good form. But I do think you're going to see runs in a classic Wrigley Day game with the wind blowing out. Moving on to the next game, you have the Cardinals taking on the Rockies. For this one, you have Palante against Freeland. For this one, the Cardinals are minus 194. I see the Rockies at plus 162. For the over-under, I do see 11 for this game. For the run line, I do see the Cardinals at about minus 128. I see the Rockies plus 1.5 at plus 106. So Freeland has been a mess this season. He's 2-10 with a 5.19 ERA. Palante 5-6, but not a great ERA either, as he has a 4.71 ERA. Terrible lately. He has given up a total of 12 earned in his last 2 starts combined, and the Cardinals have actually lost 4 straight starts that he's made. Yeah, look, I know Freeland's really bad. The Cubs are also not a good road team, but I do think for the spot in itself, I don't mind making a case for Freeland, who has actually been decent his last 3 starts. He has allowed less than 4 earned in 3 straight, which does not sound great, but you know what? For Kyle Freeland, it's not that bad. I'll go with the Rockies. I think 194 is a massive line with Palante, who's been getting shelled lately. Give me the Rockies. I'll take a spin with it.
Yeah, and another situation, 2 pitchers I really don't trust. Andre Ply, he's a little better on the road than he is at home, but in Kyle Freeland, I just think, you mentioned a pitcher earlier in the show that's just a fade for you. Kyle Freeland's a fade for me. 6 ERA, almost a 6 ERA. Batterson 349 off of him at home, so with elevation, he gives up a ton of hits, hard contacts up there as well for them. And I just think this is a great spot maybe for the Cardinals to get their offense, keep it rolling. They did score 6 runs last night, so maybe this is a good win to keep it going for them. And Freeland backed up by a bottom 5 bullpen as well. Total seems spot on. I do think we see a higher scoring affair, but Can't take them at minus 190. Run line minus 128 seems high too. It's over or anything because I do think both pitchers are going to give up a ton of runs. My totals came out to 11.4, so I do think we'll see some runs here.
That's kind of my point, though, is that if I don't trust either pitcher, then why would I want to lay 194?
Yeah, no, I agree.
I feel like I'll go with the Rockies and hope that both teams kind of go nuts, but I think Palante might get shelled. So if you want to go for the Rockies team total over instead and avoid Freeland entirely, I don't mind that either. I think that could be an approach to fade Palante. Moving on to the next game, you have the Astros taking on the Diamondbacks, and for this game, you do have the Astros using Walter against Fod for this one. For the pricing, I do see the Astros at around minus 102. The Diamondbacks are minus 116. For the over-under, I actually don't see a total, which is very weird. Never mind, now it's been updated. I see 8.5 as the total for this game. So I'm going to ask you, because Walter hasn't exactly pitched much, but he's been fine, a 1-3, but he does have a 3.66 ERA. Fod was pretty good earlier in the year, and then recently he had a bit of I'd say a bad stretch, but he's bounced back as he has gone 15 innings, giving up 2 earned in his last 2 starts combined. He has allowed less than 3 earned in 3 of his last 4. The problem is Arizona is just a team that you can't trust because of their pitching staff, and the bullpen's been terrible. Suarez is going crazy because he's auditioning for an actual team. He'll probably be traded within the next week or so. I'll ask you what you like in this game, because Arizona, I think, is a team that I just can't trust. And I do think, even though Fod's been good, I think the wrong team's favored, because I think Houston's the better team conceptually than Arizona. I'll go Houston at borderline even money.
Yeah, I see it minus 102. And at the time I was handicapping this game, I didn't see lines. So I'm seeing them for the first time. My numbers made the Astros a minus 110 favorite. So I agree. I think the wrong team is favored. I was hoping we would get Astros as a dog because they're on the road. We got a nice plus price yesterday with Astros, and we cashed with them then. But outside of that one poor start versus the Angels, I don't think Brandon Walter has been all that bad. I really don't mind backing him on the road in this spot. They're over 500 on the road this season. Meanwhile, I still don't trust the pitching staff for Brandon Pfaadt and the Diamondbacks, especially that bullpen. So, yeah, I agree. I think overall, I think the Astros are the better team. So minus 102, I don't mind at all. I'll take the Astros here.
Yep. Moving on to the next game, I do see the Brewers taking on the Mariners. I see Priester taking on Castillo. For this one, you see Milwaukee at around they're plus money. Seattle's minus 130. I see the Brewers at around plus 116. And the over-under in this game is set at 7.5. So even though Priester's a guy who I didn't like at all entering the season, good for Milwaukee's pitching staff because they turned him into an actual pitcher. He's 8-2, 3.33 ERA. Castillo, though, 7-5, 3.21 ERA. Milwaukee, though, is 20 games over 500. They've been rolling. They've won 11 in a row, and they've been a machine offensively. They've scored at least 6 runs in 5 of their last 6 games. Why is Seattle favored in this game? I'll take Milwaukee plus 116. 11 in a row? Hottest team in the league? Sure. I see a plus symbol next to their name. I'm going to take it.
Yeah, I agree. How do we not keep backing the Brewers in this spot? Best record in baseball. They keep on winning. You mentioned 11 in a row. They just continue to find ways to win. Their pitching has been great. And in that span, the bullpen has looked much better as well. And, you know, I think offensively, they're really good. They don't really hit the long ball that well, but I think the offense has been just great. Mariners are good at home, but how do you get in front of this wagon right now? Quinn Priester has been solid for Milwaukee, and they've won his last 9 starts. I got plus 120. I made him a minus 120 favorite. I don't understand why they're underdogs.
Yep, I agree. Moving on to the next game, Twins taking on the Dodgers. Dodgers did win the first game, was a bit of a sweat, as you saw a play get made right around the warning track there.
He almost had it, Carlos.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if he actually got robbed or not, but it was close. I'll put it that way. It might have hit the top of the wall, might have gone over, but either way, Outman caught it, and that was the end of the game. For this matchup, though, you have Paddock against Glass now, and for the actual pricing, I see Dodgers minus 215. I even see some 240s out there. I see the Twins at around plus 195. For the over-under, I see 9 or 8.5. Now, for the actual run line for this game, Dodgers are minus 108 or minus 105, actually. I see the Twins at minus 111. So I understand the Dodgers have been slumping lately. Did get a nice win in the opener of the series. Glasnow has barely pitched, but he's been fine this last couple starts he's made since returning from injury. 11 innings pitched, 1 earned run. So he has been very good. As for Paddock, it was fun while it lasted. That way, he was actually having a pretty decent season, even though I always thought Paddock was a horrible pitcher. And then he went back to being terrible. He's allowed a total of 11 earned in his last 2 starts. So I don't think he's any good, and I think that he's going to get destroyed here. So I'll go Dodgers minus 1.5, like minus 105.
Yeah, let's go back to the Dodgers on the run line. I took them yesterday at plus money. And I know I still read people on Twitter. They still don't trust the Dodgers. But everyone
I don't trust Paddock more than I don't trust the Dodgers.
Exactly. So. And I think everyone needs to relax. The Dodgers are going to be just fine. And I think this series is evident of that. I love this series for them. I think it's going to get them back on track. Great win last night. I know it got sweaty in the last inning, but I think they'll be just fine. Chris Paddock, he's terrible on the road. 5.81 ERA. Batters hitting almost 300 off of him. Back-to-back starts with 5 runs given up. And the Twins have lost 9 of his last 11 starts. So they're still on my do not bet list. I'm not a fan of the Twins. I'm not a fan of Chris Paddock. He gives up the deep ball, and he's predominantly a fly ball pitcher. And against the Dodgers, I think that's just a bad recipe. Against that good offense, Dodgers, I think they smoke them. Minus 1.5. I'm going to go back to the well at minus 106.
Yep, I agree. Moving on to the next game, I'll look at the match between the Orioles and the Guardians. Fun game yesterday where the Orioles went up early, then the Guardians matched them in the first inning. Then Baltimore went up again, and then I think Cleveland scored 7 straight runs to end the game. For this one, though, you have Morton against Ciccone. For the actual pricing for this game,
we got lines.
Yeah, we have lines. I see Cleveland at around minus 120. I see Baltimore at around plus 102. For the over-under in this game, I see 8.5. So Morton, who was actually having a decent stretch, was really bad against the Rays in his first start after the All-Star break. 5 1/3, 7 runs. Ciccone had a very weird start last time up because he didn't exactly pitch that well, but he pitched very, very long. 8 1/3 innings, 6 earned. But they said, you know what, screw it. We're up by runs. We'll try to save the bullpen. So he actually has been going some distance. Last 2 starts, 15 1/3 innings. Has given up 8 runs, but he went some distance. So I don't know how long Ciccone's going to go, because 8 1/3 is kind of insane for a guy that gave up 6 runs. That's a throwback stat line for a starting pitcher. He threw 107 pitches, so his arm might fall off in this game. I like the over in the game. I think Ciccone might struggle. Cleveland's offense has actually been really good for the last week or two, even with Quan being injured. And Baltimore, I think, can do some damage against Ciccone as well. Give me the over in this game. I do think, looking at the actual number, Morton might get shelled. You might see a couple ways to get there. 8.5, though, at minus 122, I'll take the over.
Trade deadline's coming up, and I've heard Stephen Kwan's name be
it was announced today he's not being traded.
Oh, that was my question to you. Okay.
I don't think they trade him anyway, because I think you'd get more for him during the offseason.
I like the Guardians, minus 120. My numbers made him a minus 145 favorite here with Slate Ciccone. I know he hasn't been the best at home. The numbers aren't great in Cleveland this year, but they're playing really good baseball, especially offensively, like you mentioned. 8+ runs scored in 3 of the 4 games so far in the second half. We already know they have a good bullpen. If they can keep this up, I just don't see why they shouldn't win this game. Going up against Uncle Charlie, who 6.81 ERA on the road, batters hitting 300 off of him as well. He just got smoked, like you mentioned, by the Rays in his last start. And earlier in the year, the Guardians roughed him up as well, giving up 5 runs in 5 innings. So don't trust Charlie Moore, and I don't trust their bullpen. I just think this is a bad spot for them. I agree on the total. I didn't see it till we opened up. We started recording.
I thought it would be 9 personally. I'm surprised it was at 8.5.
My total came out to 8.8. I still like the over, even if it was at a 9. So money is coming in on the over, so it probably might close around 9. Still like the over. I just think we're going to see some runs here, but I'll be on the Guardians here.
Yep. Moving on to the next game, though, you have the Red Sox taking on the Phillies. Weird ending to the game yesterday on a catcher's interference with the bases loaded. For the record,
he didn't even swing.
No, even as a Yankees fan, I think that's an atrocious ruling. I get the argument is the bat might have slightly touched the glove. What is he interfering with? The guy didn't swing the bat.
Yeah.
Like I don't get it. It wasn't even a check swing. He was about a quarter of the way through.
Yeah.
And they called catcher interference, which I think is an insane ruling, but
terrible.
I don't know what he's interfering with. The guy wasn't trying to swing at the ball. So I don't really get it. But either way, Jordan Hicks was going to blow the game anyway, so it didn't really matter. The point is the Phillies won the first game of the series. A fun matchup, but still. For this matchup, you do have Giolito against Luzardo. Giolito was really bad early in that Cubs start. Then he actually settled in. But the point is he still got the loss in that one. For Luzardo, he has had a pretty up and down season. Was great to start the year. Recently, not so much. Gave up 4 earned in 4 2/3 in his last start. So, point is, both pitchers have been a bit, I'd say, untrustworthy lately. For the pricing, Phillies minus 154. Boston is about plus 130. For the over-under in this game, I see 8.5. So, I think I'm going to go on Boston here for this game. Do I like how they've been playing post-All-Star break? No. Having said that, do I really want to lay 150 with Luzardo? No. I don't trust either pitcher. Maybe like the over in the game. That's fine. I don't mind the Red Sox team total over. I'll ignore Giolito. I'll just fade Luzardo in general. That might be the best approach for this game, but I can't lay that number with Luzardo. So I guess it's Red Sox or pass.
Yeah, Red Sox are pass. Luzardo's not good on the at home, and Red Sox actually hit lefties really well. So I think it's totally mispriced. I only made the Phillies a minus 130 favorite. This is ridiculous in my opinion. The offense though for Boston hasn't really been there in the second half, but I think this might be a good opportunity to get going against Jesus Luzardo and Lucas Giolito. He's been really good on the road. 3-1, 2.55 ERA. Barr's only hitting 188 off of him. And all 4 games for the Red Sox have gone under. So we might, I don't know about an over. I kind of stayed away from the total. My total came out actually to an 8.3. But I think we might see a lower scoring game. But I'm going to take the Red Sox based on pure value here. I think it's mispriced this game.
I think Philly should be favored, but I think 150 and change feels a bit steep for Luzardo's lackluster form lately. And the Philly actually lost 3 of his last 4 starts, so keep that in mind. Moving on to the next game, I see Fried against Bassett as the Yankees take on the Blue Jays. Surging Blue Jays, who won the first game of the series. For this one, you have the Blue Jays, who are about plus 120. The Yankees are minus 140, give or take, and the over-under in this game is at 8.5. Under those, minus 120. Give me Toronto. I don't get this one at all. I understand that Fried has been the better pitcher of the season. Toronto handled Fried pretty easily in the last meeting in Toronto. Blue Jays have been rolling. Yankees can't field. They can't base run. The bullpen's not great. Besides that, they're fine. No, the point is the Yankees, though, have really been struggling for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I'm going Toronto. Plus 120. The team's been going crazy. I'll take the Blue Jays.
Yeah, Blue Jays are passed for me. I only made the Yankees a minus 130 favorite. Maybe money will come in. We'll get a better number with the Blue Jays. But at plus 122, I saw earlier, at home, that's an insane price, in my opinion. I get Max Fried is on the mound, and he's good. But Chris Bassett, he's undefeated in Toronto this season. 7-0, 2.53 ERA. And, he hasn't given up a run in back-to-back starts. He already has a win over the Yankees earlier in the month. He struck out 9 in that game as well. And the Blue Jays, they just have the Yankees number. 5 straight wins against them. They're 6-2 on the year versus them straight up. Their bullpen continues to worry me, and the offense just hasn't looked the same as well in the second half. So, except that one game that Atlanta just gave them, and they just blew that game. But you got to take Toronto here, in my opinion, and that's another plus money play. But I do like Toronto, and I was going to ask you, but what's going on with Volpe? Another error yesterday.
What's going on? He stinks.
Gold Glove guy, though.
It's one of the most BS Gold Gloves I've ever seen in my entire life.
There's no accountability either to go off of your tweet.
No, I've tweeted it many times before. The Yankees have a constant state of optimism, forced or not, where they believe that they're entitled to turn things around because they're told every day that they've never done anything wrong in their lives, and they are basically treating themselves as the favorites to win it all mentally, and how anytime they struggle, it's just temporary. And eventually it'll all figure itself out. I don't think this team's very good, and I've felt this way for about a month or so at this point. The Yankees, I understand, have a lot of star power with Judge, of course. Stan's been good recently. I mean, Jazz has been, I'd say, fine, still streaky when it's not the home run derby, but he's been fine. Bellinger's been great, at least recently for the last couple months. There are some bright spots to this team, but you can't seriously throw Volpe and Peraza out there on the left side of your infield night in, night out. You can't do that. I understand you'll let DJ walk because he was well past his prime, and I get that DJ's just not the guy he used to be. And they're probably going to trade for Suarez or somebody at the deadline. They need more than a third baseman. Like, I don't think this team is fundamentally sound enough to actually go on a seriously deep playoff run. And I see a bunch of flaws with this team. I do think the Yankees are good enough to make the playoffs. They're not going to fully bottom out and implode and miss a wild card spot. Would I be shocked if they ended up losing in the first round of a playoff series? I would not, because I don't think this team's very good.
What's their ceiling for you?
The ceiling in the American League is, in theory, a World Series appearance. If you're not sold on Detroit's offense, if you're not sold on Houston, that's the ceiling. Mm-hmm. They're not going to beat the National League team in the World Series. Do I think they'll get to the World Series? Hell no. I think that the ALCS, in my opinion, would be between the Tigers and the Astros if we're going by best team. Toronto's in the mix now.
I was just going to ask, are you a believer in Toronto?
I actually am, more than I thought I'd ever be with this team. Now, for playoffs, I think I would still trust AJ Hinch, and I would still trust Houston because they've been there so many times.
Yeah.
But Toronto's in the running. I'll put it that way.
Okay.
I understand that people might view the Yankees in terms of a playoff tier system higher than Toronto. I don't know if I agree with that because I really don't think Aaron Boone's a good manager.
Yeah.
I don't think the Yankees pitching staff is that great in terms of a bullpen. And the lineup, besides a couple of power guys, is really not that great. So I think this team is a potential one and done in the playoffs.
Are you afraid they've kind of plateaued a little bit?
You mean this year or over the last 15 years?
I was talking this year, but yeah, I guess you could make the argument for 15
They made
years.
the World Series for the first time in a while. It's first time since 2009 last year. And even with that, it was a paper soft AL last year.
And we all knew, I know you're a Yankee fan, and I know you were rooting for them, but we all knew the Dodgers are going to win the series.
I picked Dodgers in 6. They won in 5.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. But the point is, I do think the Yankees are a team that is still being, I don't know if it's just a matter of what the front office wants to do or if that's Boone by himself. They coddle these guys every damn day, and nobody gets held accountable for any of their actions, and it drives me nuts.
It seems like the team is a little soft.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If you're going to coddle all the guys and tell them it's never their fault and eventually it's all going to work out, then there's no reason to actually change anything because you're expecting law of averages to take over.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think this team is very good defensively with Jazz and Volpe, who are both, I believe, bottom 3 or bottom 5 in errors this season. It's terrible. Peraza can't hit. He had a terrible fielding job as well in that 5th inning. I don't have much else to add. I think the Yankees have lost pretty much every big game they've had this season.
Yeah. No, I agree. I just think with all the hype and all the expectations, us being in New York, it's either World Series or bust for the Yankees. And I feel like time and time again, it's just like, oh, we'll be fine. There's a lot of games left. Like you saw the quote yesterday from Volpe. We'll be fine. There's a lot of games. People need to relax. But relax until when? October's going to be here very soon.
I'm also not sure a lot of games for what, because he should be in AAA. So I don't think he's a major league player this season. He can't hit. He can't field. Yeah. So what's the point?
And my problem with that is they're like, well, Volpe's out there for his glove. Can't say that this year.
He's not. He's one of the worst fielding shortstops in the entire league. So I don't know what the point is in being out there. But I do want to point out, by the way, Toronto right now is about minus 105 to actually win the division. They're favored now. The Yankees are plus 115. I like Toronto in that one. So there you go. But anyway, I like Toronto. I think plus 120 is an insane price for Toronto.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, moving on to the next game. You have the White Sox taking on the Rays. For this one, you have Cannon against Bradley. Now, the Rays are minus 200. The White Sox are plus 170. For the run line in this game, I see the Rays at around plus 104, and I see the White Sox at minus 125. For the over-under in this game, I see 9. We know Tampa has been battling this season. They're 3 over at home and in general. Bradley's been up and down. He was very good in his last 2 starts. Last 2 starts, 12 innings pitched, 1 earned run total. So he's been very good. As for Cannon, never been a fan, personally. He's 4-7, 4.18 ERA. I don't think he's that great. His ERA in the roads are not great either. He's been good lately, though. He has allowed less than 3 earned in 4 straight. I like the under in this game. Couple ways to get there. If Cannon does not get totally shelled, I think Bradley goes very well here personally. Even though the White Sox have been good offensively lately, I think Bradley pitches well in this game. I'll go under, and this total's too high.
The White Sox are confirmed back, Scott. They're back. What a 4-game
hitting.
What a 4-game run by this team.
To be fair, they played the Pirates, so that factors in too. But
I want to give them credit, and obviously, eventually, they will regress. But I don't think it's now. Honestly, Taj Bradley hasn't been the best at home this season. Almost a 5 ERA. And White Sox, you mentioned the offense, total of 35 runs in the last 4 games, and honestly, Jonathan Cannon has looked good in his last 4 starts. They're 4-0. The White Sox straight up in those 4 games. I think first 5 plus a half, first 5 money line. I think that he's going to be able to limit the Rays. I think they're live here. You can't go against the White Sox right now, in my opinion. So I'm going to take White Sox first 5.
All right, moving on to the last game, you have the A's taking on the Rangers. For this game, you have Sears against Corbin. For the money line here, I don't have any lines, so I got nothing for this game. Just checking to see quickly if they added anything. No. We have no lines. Both pitchers are pretty similar. Corbin's numbers are better, 3.91 ERA compared to 5.13 for Sears. Both guys, though, are lefties who kind of pitch to contact, but you hope for the best. So looking at his last start for Sears, 4 innings, 7 runs against the Guardians. Before that, though, he was fine. Corbin, though, look, he's been serviceable, which is all I could ask for Texas. Don't look now, though. The Rangers, 1 game over 500. Good for them.
Let's go.
They are 29-20 at home. The A's are 22-29 on the road. Corbin, last 3 starts, giving up 4 runs combined. So good for him. I don't have lines, but give me Texas.
Yeah, I agree. No lines, but and maybe my lines made it a little more than I probably would pay. But Rangers minus 160 with my numbers. I doubt they'll be that big of a favorite, but they are playing better, the Rangers. And offensively, I think they picked it up here in the second half. You mentioned it, Patrick Corbin. He's looked solid, at least serviceable in the month of June. In Sears, he's kind of too up and down for my liking on the road. So it's either Texas or pass for me. I did make the total 9.3, though. I do think we'll see some runs here. So maybe depending if we get an 8.5.
Yeah, I think I'm on the same page as you, but I'm not going to go against Texas. They've been rolling.
Yeah.
Seager, when healthy, reminds everybody how good of a player he actually is. He's never healthy. But he goes on a type of run like this every year where there's like a 15-game stretch where he's batting like 340. And you're like, yeah, that sounds about right.
What do you think? What do you think the possibility if he actually played every game this season or a season? Like he could be a top 5 player in the league. He has the talent.
Adam and I had a serious conversation during the award shows pre-season because we were doing MVPs. And Adam was trying to pitch me on Seager because the upside is always there.
Yeah.
And when healthy, he is top 5. And I basically vetoed it saying he might miss 60 games because he gets injured every year. I just think it's a waste of a wager when you take injury-prone guys. It's like betting the over. Not really the over. It's like betting Jordan to lead the league in home runs. He's missing 80 games, so you're just going to lose. But if you want the illusion of the what-if scenario where everything goes right, then sure, go nuts. But in reality, Seager's a guy who I think, when healthy, is a top 5, top 10 player in the league.
I agree. I think you're... Yeah, go. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, I know that right now it's going to sound like I'm kicking him while he's down because he's been in a massive slump. I think Seager, when healthy, is the best shortstop in the league. People argue Lindor. I would take Seager personally.
Yeah,
when healthy.
When healthy, and it's a big when. But
yes.
I would agree. I think you're better off playing Seager in for example, if they make the World Series, just hypothetical, you're better off taking him to win the MVP like he did a few years back, as opposed to going on a future for 6-7 months where he's going to miss 50-60 games. So I agree. I always just wonder, because I agree. I don't even think top 10. I think he's so talented. He could be a top 5 player. And I always wonder in my head, What if he played the whole year?
It's a little Troutish. I mean, I feel like we've been here before, but Trout, of course, is a different animal, but you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, 100%.
If we're assuming full health for Seager, I think he's the best shortstop in the league.
Definitely better hitter because you mentioned it a few weeks ago before you went on vacation. Francisco Lindor, great glove, but offensively, he goes through a lot of ups and downs. He's a career, 240, 237, something like that?
I want to pull it up because his numbers on Cleveland were nasty, but
insane.
Lindor with the Mets, I know he had the great playoff run last year, a couple of big home runs too.
That grand slam against the Phillies was insane. I was there, bro.
This year, you were there. That's right. That entire Phillies bullpen fell apart in every game. So lifetime, he's 272. But with the Mets, terrible. The averages here, I know batting average is an outdated stat, but still, 230, 270, 254, 273, 248. So he alternates between 270 and 250 pretty much every year. I think Seager, if he played a full season, there's not many guys batting 300 anymore. I think Seager would easily be in the 280, 290 range. If he played a full season.
You know what stat everyone loves? It's WAR. And I'm
WRC plus?
Yeah. I'm looking up the WAR. It's only for Corey Seager, it's only 2.6, but he doesn't play all that much. That's the problem.
No, but Seager's got a couple of seasons though where he batted like 307, 306, 327, but he missed at least 40 games in every one of those seasons. So it's difficult, but I'm a big Seager guy when healthy. But when it comes to betting on futures, I'll never take him because it's a waste of money.
Yeah.
So there you go.
It's unfortunate.
But when healthy, I think he's number one in terms of shortstop rankings, for my opinion.
Yeah, you can't argue that.
You can put Lindor too. That's fine. But I do think Seager is better, in my opinion. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for all the games on the card for Wednesday. Time to move on into the actual Lock and Dog picks. Before we get into the Lock and Dog, reminder, they're brought to you by MyBookie because they're available in 10 locations. Use them to bet on the baseball cards, to bet on WNBA, to bet on golf, to bet on football futures as well. And a reminder, you can always deposit easily and use crypto for fast payouts. When you actually sign up for your account, though, use the code SGPN to get a special 100% match up to 1K. Terms and conditions apply. With the promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm because they have Power Trends now, which is the best of the best for what the house model has to offer. Addictive patterns. Rhythm's models consistently win. They have a high ROI. And a reminder, Power Trends are only available on Rhythm. No touts, just great overall data-back picks. MLB Power Trends have a win rate of 63%. Same with WNBA, actually. A win rate of 63.64%. Download the app. Check out Power Trends. Start betting smarter. And a reminder, you can also check it out for free for a week because it's a free trial. Go to sportsgamble.com/rhythm to get your 7-day free trial. Welcome back, everyone, to the MLB Gambling Podcast. Finished going through all the games for Wednesday. Time to move on into the Lock and Dog picks for the show. Dylan, what do you like as your Lock and Dog?
Yeah, so I did like the Blue Jays for my dog. I mean, if you want a double dog, I like the Blue Jays at the plus 120 price. But how do we go away from the Brewers? They're the best team right now, 11 in a row, plus 120, plus 116, whatever you're able to get. And I think Quinn Priester is, honestly, I think he's better than Luis Castillo right now. So, yeah, I don't mind taking the Brewers here as my dog. Like I said, I do like the Blue Jays. They were almost my dog. As my lock, where is it? I'm gonna go to a total. I didn't do a lot of totals, but there was a total up in the beginning of the game between the Padres and the Marlins. Two terrible pitchers. Dylan Cease doing the name a disservice, and Sandy Alcantara. 8 is very low for these two pitchers. Like I said, I made my total 8.7. I think we're going to see a lot of runs. Dylan Cease giving up 3+ runs in 6 of his last 7 starts. And Sandy Alcantara has regressed back to his normal self. 4+ runs given up in 4 straight starts. Who cares who wins? I think we're just going to see some runs in this game. So, yeah, give me the over 8 as my lock.
Yeah, so for the lock, quickly trying to see if I can find a price on this game because it's going to be a first 5 play, but I want to see if I actually have the numbers for it. Let me just see if I can get it. First 5, I do have it. All right, for the lock, give me the Braves first 5 minus half a run. I'll take the first 5 run line. I'll fade Verlander as long as he keeps pitching. With Strider pitching, thanks. I appreciate it. Verlander got shelled his first outing post All-Star break. I think he's washed. I think it's safe to say. Give me the Braves first 5 minus half a run at minus 135 as my lock. For my dog, I did want to go Milwaukee. Wait, so you had Milwaukee, and what was your other one again?
Then I had the over for the Padres and the Marlins.
Yeah, give me Toronto on the money line at plus 120. I think it's just a good number. I saw them look good against Fried last time out, and the fact is the Blue Jays are mashing. The Yankees are a poorly run baseball team at the moment. I think the wrong team's favored. Give me Toronto on the money line at plus 120 as my dog. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for the show. Dylan, anything else you want to add?
R.I.P. Ozzy Osbourne. That's all I got to say.
What a shame.
What a shame. He performed his last song sitting down. He only performed 4 songs last week, but in Birmingham, where he grew up, terrible.
I'm trying to remember, though. Ozzy was performing this year? No. I obviously know
last
it was
week.
Sabbath. I'm saying it was last week, yeah. Yeah, Blacks. You think I don't know he did Black Sabbath? Just disrespect. I'm wearing a Skulls t-shirt. Come on, man. You think I don't know that Ozzy?
No, that was a little disrespectful. I apologize.
R.I.P. To Ozzy. But either way, point is I'll probably listen to Crazy Train after.
Or The Wizard.
That too.
Great song.
But, yep, very, very good. Also, Iron Man.
Yes.
Can't forget about Iron Man. Anyway, until next time, good luck to all of you and all of your bets. Bye, everyone.